Uh, hold on. Hey, so listen, real quick. We have a slot. Were you done also? I jumped in.
Yeah. I was just going through everybody on the screen.
All right. We have a so for the sisters, we started recording those classes. Um Only the sisters should see it though. They have their own privacy, own chat. Same thing with the kids. We said we're gonna start recording those. The kids. The classes. If you're not in a particular group, then you actually won't see the recording. This will only be for the marriage maintenance. So if somebody want to review back on what was discussed, and you can go back and listen to it. So nothing will hit the primary chat as far as recording wise, but I do think it'd be good to go back and listen to things that may be said, some good points that may have been brought up. So if anybody just felt a little queasy because I heard that lady say something, that's why. That's why. Let me get my camera on. Man, it's not working. I don't know why it's not working.
We see you.
Y'all can see me?
Yeah.
I don't know what. I can't see me though. I don't know why.
Black headband, gray shirt.
Yeah, that's me. Okay, I see everything. Now, OG Lawson, what's happening, man?
Not much.
Nothing much. Who you finna rob, dog? Just asking. Do we all need to pull up?
Just ain't feeling that great.
Oh man, migraine.
Yeah, I was forced to take the medicine. Medicine do worse than headache.
That sucks. Okay, well, I hope you feel better, brother. If you got to dip out, we definitely understand. Get your rest. Get the rest. Okay. Excel background. That's nice. That's nice. I see it. I see it. I like that logo. It's fire.
Yeah, you put the blessing on it. I said, cool, let me roll with it.
Con, praises. It's one out there in what's that, the geocentric model? I got you. Cool. What's going on with everybody? Y'all good?
Yes, sir.
I'm good.
I'm wonderful.
Y'all feeling lovely? Wonderful? Awesome. Feeling lovely. I got to say this, I ain't gonna say what about what, but I say this. If I ever make a joke with one of y'all and y'all don't get it, y'all think I'm coming off seriously, I might be serious, but sometimes I'm just joking. And so I've been told that I don't know how to joke, and I can acknowledge that. I probably don't. Sometimes it was a particular person said, man, your face should be straight sometimes. And I'm like, well, my bad, bro. It was a joke. And then he laughed. I'm like, bro, the joke been over a week though, but I get you laughing now, but it was a joke then. I want y'all to feel that way. Let me ask y'all this real quick before we start this, and this is off subject. And I'm sure there are some, it'll be probably answered differently, but does anybody here have a problem reaching out to me? When I ask that question, what I mean is, I don't want to use the wrong words. All right, so take my words for lack of other words I could think to use right now. Any type of intimidation or anything like that? I don't know why anybody would be, but does anybody?
No.
No, sir.
No.
Me and Adrian said no, just in case.
You want to hear from me?
No.
I'm a little apprehensive too, because my thoughts come in the middle of the night, and I know, a lot of people don't be up.
Yeah.
I mean, it do take me 4 days to call people back, but I ain't gonna talk about you.
Nah, Brent, I got you on the block list. That one for I didn't play. See, that was a joke. That was
See,
for those who don't know, that was a joke.
No, he got me on the block list. Don't let him play you because I talked to him like 2 weeks ago. He still ain't coming back.
I thought we talked. I thought you said you was telling me you had a new number.
No, I called you again after that.
Oh, I gotta look. I ain't see that one if you called me after that.
Yeah, I have called you after that one more time.
Hmm?
Look, my son said he say he calls right.
My
Right,
bad, my
right.
bad. My
Yeah.
fault. So the reason I'm asking the question is because I know there's been a couple people who kind of, Rochelle, your word's better, apprehensive. And, you know, they told me why they were apprehensive. And I just don't want nobody to be apprehensive, you know. Yeah, I don't know. Just there's no reason to be apprehensive if you are, you know what I mean? So, but if you feel like, hey, well, I don't know what he gonna say about this or what, all I do is pick up the book and read it, man. And, you know, we all grown, but don't let it ever be a reason where you need to talk to me and you don't, right? Or you feel like don't feel like I'm too busy. You might call, you might not get me. I'll call you back though. Well, Brittany said I won't, but if I see it, I will call you back. I'll get
He
back to
do.
you. All
He
right.
do. I be playing. I'm playing. He do all that.
So I just want to put that out there just for anybody. Don't put, I hope that ain't, you know, the issue for everybody. What you was gonna say, Taven? I don't even know if I want to
No,
hear
it's
it.
I guess because I'm coming from a nephew's standpoint, it's like I don't know if I could, bring certain stuff up because you're my uncle, but that's all. 'Cause everything I'll be saying, the body already knows, so it's like I'd be like, I say something, and be like, "Oh, you corny," or "You lame." So I'll be saying so.
So listen, I want to be on record to say I have never called you corny and lame in front of the body. You've been the main one to point that out. It's always been in private. I said that. I never said that openly, but I get it. Anywho, so if anybody got anything before we move forward? No, no, no. All right. Well, what y'all think about today's topic? Who knows what today's topic? Who don't know it? Who does not know what today's topic is?
Race bait.
Who does not know? Huh?
I said it's a race baiting topic.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of is, honestly.
I don't remember what today's topic is.
Okay, no problem, no
I
problem.
remember. It's the
No, I said who does not. The
Oh.
question was who. So do you
Never
think?
mind.
Okay, thank you. Who does not know? So I mean, other than Antoine, everybody know what topic is. Antoine, they're not telling the truth. They end up looking in the chat right now trying to find it. I guarantee it. You ain't the only one. But it's okay. It ain't major though, because I just really put it in there. So what is it, Brittany?
I didn't think we had a topic because it's not in the marriage maintenance.
You say you didn't think we had it because it's not a marriage maintenance?
Yeah.
Is your significant other meeting your needs?
Oh, okay.
And it goes on both ways. It was like a question: does your husband meet your needs, and does your wife meet your needs?
Brother Lawson, I'm sorry, Salakia. Brother Lawson, it was on the NIOC chat.
The main chat.
In the main chat. It was not on the marriage.
Off the top.
I should have transferred it, but I didn't wanna.
It's right above the comment what you said con to. That brother be reading them. It's an itinerary.
I conned the no show tonight. It says show cancel. I conned
I
that.
know. That's why I said it's right above the comment you said the con to. But I understand this is kind of like an itinerary. So we're gonna give you a pass. And you're not feeling good, so we're gonna let it pass. We're gonna let it pass. But nah, it says, husbands, do you believe you meet the needs of your wives? Wives, do you believe you meet the requirements of your husbands? I ask everybody to think about it, and let's discuss it on the Sabbath. So the question is, what do y'all think about the topic? So that one says rage baiting. What is it? It's called rage or race? It's rage baiting, right?
Huh.
So that one says rage baiting topic.
Crazy.
It might
You
be.
see him stroking his beard. He's scared over there.
Hey, hey, just wink with one eye. Wink with your left eye first, and then your right eye if you need us.
Oh, look, he need help. He blank your
Dang.
face.
All right, we wouldn't expect you to do that. We ain't gonna be able to help you. We all too far away. Have to call the police.
It's gonna take me 45 minutes to get there. I ain't gonna make it.
Oh, that right. Which Brittany pretty close. So what y'all think about the topic? I mean, I ain't gonna say that. I'm gonna watch a movie and eat some food with my wife.
I think it's a good topic. I think that because a lot of times we think we automatically meet each other's needs instead of asking what each other need from each other. And having that conversation regularly because we're changing every day. So I think that's a good topic to always have.
It is. It is. Man, I just had a conversation with some people about and said that very same thing. Yeah, I meet these particular needs because it is. And I've had this conversation probably, if I had to put a number on them, I don't know a number, honestly. But guess what? You know, how do you know? Because I know. No, that don't work. So cool. Anybody else?
Now I have a question. This is to all the sisters, but specifically, Sister Brittany, I'm gonna ask you, in specific, what can you read the topic again and then answer what you think it said?
I'm sorry, do what?
Read the question and then say what you think it's saying.
So, husband, do you meet your wife's needs? What is that saying?
Mhm.
Any type of needs, whether it's spiritually, emotionally, sexually, any type of needs.
Okay. And then what was the next question?
Wives, do you meet your husband's needs? Or something like that.
What is it?
You meet their requirements. The requirements.
Oh, that's why I wanted to make sure we are getting the same point today.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I
That's
caught,
but
caught
I
that,
mean,
and I just wanted to make sure we because I think if our sisters think that we're talking about our needs, that's not the question. The question was something totally different.
do we think we meet
But he
their
asked us is, do we meet your needs? And
and
then
then
the requirements.
the
was
requirements, sorry.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a different question.
Y'all, y'all know how brothers be stealing the thunder and just exposing the plan. He
Oh,
just
wow.
exposed the whole plan. Oh man, he just took the. But hey, you know what? It's a beautiful thing, though. That's exactly what was going on. Now,
Some of us caught it.
he threw y'all a lifeline on that one. I ain't gonna lie. He threw you a
No,
lifeline.
some of us caught it. caught Just that. quiet. We're gonna
some of
see
you
how
caught
far y'all gonna take it.
You know what?
My sister was reading.
We're gonna have to take that sister to counseling. The last one. She gotta go to counseling. We gotta bring her to counsel. Just saying.
Salakia, you asked if it was a good topic, and I think it is. It's check and balances on an everyday or every week or every month, however you checking yourself in and to see
Maintenance.
So I think that it's a good topic always to check your balances and where you lacking and where you working the most at and then overcoming those obstacles to get to that point of it is check off.
Facts. Facts, 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 facts. That's a heck of a point. Doing this on a regular basis is good.
Sister,
That's facts. I seen something in the chat. What it was.
Sister Howard say she got it. She ain't get it. She ain't get it. She ain't get it.
I caught it. Requirements jump out the screen. Dang, Brittany, that's all throwing you under the bus. They say you don't want to catch it. On that plan.
I don't care.
Dang.
We love you.
Show, okay, the
Look,
show.
at this point,
y'all
look,
ain't
at this
showing the fuck
point, only person who requirements I need to be worried about is this man over here.
Well, that's why we having the conversation, sister.
Look,
So we can make sure you
exactly.
worry about the requirements.
I do. I always ask him what does he want to be or what he needs and he asked the same thing and I appreciate that.
But cool. Then this should be an easy conversation to have then. Anybody else got anything on it?
I think it's a great topic. I think it's a topic that causes reflection and not impulse or emotion. I think it's a reflective kind of questioning.
Yeah.
That's what I get.
Mm-hmm. Facts. Facts. Who'd like to go first?
I had a quick question.
Good. You got it.
I wanted to know why the difference in the verbiage between requirements and needs. Like,
I'm gonna, he ain't say nothing, but I seen his eyes change. I'm gonna let Selma answer. You want to answer that? The eyes went laser for a second.
No, who's your question?
Lawson, you want to answer it?
Why there be a difference between requirements and needs? Is that what she's asking?
Kai.
Well, I would think like personally you have needs. Requirements is like how you want the family to move and be regulated. No different than like I need to eat. You know, I can either, grab something quick to eat, whatever the case may be, it's a quick fix. But the requirement is like the stability and the functionality of non-negotiables. Whereas the needs can, sometimes the needs can be put on the back burner based off situations. Requirement is we're going to keep the laws in the house. But some of the needs might be if different situations cause for different adjustments, if they're making sense. But they're still important. It's just the requirements are the non-negotiables. If my way of explaining it.
No, I get what you're saying. Excuse me. And you got some touch? You've been answered?
How I understood it, because originally when I read it, I was offended. I was like, why is there a difference between needs and requirements? But because the man is in a position of governing or governance, it then becomes a requirement in terms, just as Lawson was saying, for things to operate smoothly. So that's why the terminology was different in terms of requirement for us to function the way we need to function in line with what Selwyn was saying, the Bible or the Most High, as I understood it, versus it being a need where it's like, I would like this, but it may not be required for governance. That was my understanding or my takeaway from when I thought about it.
Look, I got a Butterfinger with your name on it. We're going to split that thing today. I'm not even going to accuse you of taking it today. So, right. I agree with what everybody said. Requirements, needs. As a man, as a husband, a father, a leader, a teacher, sometimes your needs are not going to be met. Sometimes you're going to have to sacrifice your needs for your house. Food is low. Small example. Food is low. It's only enough to give my wife and children something to put on their stomach. I need to eat too to survive. They need to eat to survive. But as a man and the head of a house, a leader, a teacher, a provider, I'm going to sacrifice my need for them. My need doesn't have to be met in this particular situation. Right? But there is a requirement, right? I'm required to take care of my house. And anybody who places themselves in the position of a teacher, as we see all around Israel, but yet you're not taking care of your house, does not the scripture say you're unqualified to govern the house of God? Whether y'all know it or not, this is the house of God. Do y'all know that? Like, we got to change our perception. This is the house of God. Ain't no address on this Zoom. Well, the address is us. You are the temple, right? So we are the house of God. There's a requirement. So my requirements are going to be different. Like, there's needs and then there's requirements. And for you brothers, well, unfortunately, you was born as men, meaning your needs ain't gonna always be met. Sometimes you gotta back off. Moses went as far as saying to the Father, forgive them. Right? Let me stand in the middle for them as Christ does for us all. And let me mediate for these brothers and sisters so that their needs can be met. Right? And what was the requirement that the Father put on Moses? To leave them. And Moses said, Father, if you're not going to forgive them, then take my name out the book of life as well. I ain't grown to that level yet, but I get what he was saying. You feel me? But what was he doing? He's sacrificing his own needs for those he is over. So when you lead, there are requirements. And then when you submit, there are needs. Hey, I need you to do this. Yeah, excuse me. So if my wife, hey, can you cook me something to eat? All right, yeah, but we need food. All right. There's a need that she needs to be met for her to even do what I'm requiring her to do. They work hand in hand. They work hand in hand. The wives' needs have to be met so they can even do what you require in most cases. Make sense? So if we're asking, so wives, do you believe that you meet the needs of your, the requirements of your husband, and husband, do you meet the needs of your wives? Anybody like to start? I want to say I meet all the needs. Stop it. Let's talk for real.
I'll go.
You got it.
I would say maybe 85, 95% of her needs. For my wife, one of her biggest things is like activity, insert activity. That's not always for me per se. Like traveling, so my wife has found an outlet with traveling with family. So her need is still somewhat smooth over. I should say the requirement aspect of that is smooth over, but the need for us to travel isn't being met.
Is that a need or a want?
I think in this case, I think is one of the same because she has obviously a stressful job as far as being a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
So part of her, I don't know how you de-stress, is that what it is? Like when she's trying to decompose, that's one of her needs, but it's still a want as well.
So you're saying it's yeah, for certain people that could be a need. Like if you're a nurse or a police officer or some sort of counselor, you're taking a lot upon yourself. You do need those de-stressors. So for her, it's definitely a need.
Right.
For, I don't know, Susie, it just might be a want. Is what you
Right.
said.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the requirement aspect of being able to, to travel and different things like that, I think that aspect is met. Is the need as far as us. And I know for anybody that's ever heard us go back and forth as far as like the makeup of vacations and all that, to transition, I guess, the thought process, it's hard for me to like just fathom the way she thinks and insert that into my brain, because my brain is more family oriented. My brain is, if I had the ability to help, whether it be my family, her family, whatever the case may be, I feel like everybody should have at least an example of a certain kind of life so they can, obviously strive and be comfortable with that. Whereas she is needing that intimacy part with just her and I, or at least without the kids or the in-laws or brothers and sisters. So I can see where I don't meet that need of hers. But the requirement, I believe, with our home makeup, I think is being met by you.
You say, wait, I answer. You don't believe you're meeting that need, but the requirement is being met. What you said? Try to
Uh,
understand.
the need of just the intimate type of trips versus, and I'm saying intimate as far as just not including the extended families type of trips.
So you're meeting that need.
I mean, the requirement is being met, but not the need of the intimacy of just either a couple's trip or a lone trip.
What's the requirement?
The requirement is her ability to travel. She has the ability to travel. She can take trips and all that stuff. But the other aspect of it with just her and I isn't being met.
Okay. Could be me. I'm a little fuzzy. Just a little bit.
All right. She has a requirement of traveling. That aspect is being met. She has a need to travel with just her and I, or just a type of travel without kids and extended family. That aspect is not being met.
So we talking about her needs and your
Mhm.
requirements. And what I think I just heard is you flipped it around to her requirements and need.
I thought the question was, are we fulfilling their requirement?
It's for, am I fulfilling your requirements?
Oh, I'm answering, am I fulfilling
And-
your requirement?
And no, the requirement is mine. The need is yours.
The requirement of yours is being met.
It's not, I don't have requirements, I have needs. I meet requirements.
Well, somebody read the question. My eyes closed.
The brother got a headache, man. Y'all give him grace.
It says, wives, are you meeting the requirements of your husbands? Husbands, are you meeting the needs of your wives?
Oh, okay. Well,
I have requirements, you have needs. Meaning, I meet your requirements,
mhm.
and do you meet my needs?
Oh, okay. Well, I misunderstood. I thought it was both for both.
No.
All right, slacking on that, family. My bad.
No, you good. You good. You good.
We love you.
So
All.
what'd you say?
I say we love you. Get you some rest, man.
Hey, listen, when somebody tell you to get you some rest, they tell you, hey, just go over there.
What? I'm saying my eyes closed. I told y'all before we started, I didn't read it. My eyes are closed. I'm trying to keep my eyes closed. So I was listening, trying to bring it all
No,
together.
Now we know you got a headache, man. Just mess with you. So here's the thing for whoever want to jump in there. If you don't meet the need of, well, we got to specify what the need is. Well, specify whatever need you want to bring up. One that's, you feel is appropriate for us, the group discuss. If you don't meet the need of your wife and that need is not met, it's going to reciprocate. Like, does that come back and cause her not to meet a requirement that you have set for? Again, hey, cook dinner. Ain't no food. She needs some food. So by not the need of food not being met, then guess what she can't do? So if you don't provide, if you don't meet the need, does that in turn cause her not to meet the requirement? And the reason I'm asking these questions is because, again, I want to show how they just go hand in hand. We may be basing requirements on our wives and not giving them or helping them be in the positions to meet the needs, to meet those requirements because we haven't met the needs. Does that make sense? Who want to jump in? And wait, before you go, also too, let me say, and if the men have, met the needs, then in turn, you should be meeting the requirements. That's a big one. Because generally speaking, you're supposed to like to get them needs met. Requirements still be lacking. They got to go both ways on the same level. One don't work without the other. It's like saying, I believe in Christ, but I don't keep the law. I keep the law, but I don't believe in Christ. You can't separate them. I believe in Christ, but I don't keep the law. Wait, but believe keeping the law. If you can't believe in Christ, but I don't keep the law, when Christ says you must keep the law to even believe in me, how do you separate it? How does the OT only say I keep the law, but I don't believe in Christ when the law says you must believe in Christ? That is a part of the law. That's how a need and requirements are met. It's equal, if that makes sense. I'm trying to explain it. But who want to go? Who want to jump in there?
I could jump in. As I understood it, the needs are like the essential, and the requirements may change. That's how we understood it in the Scout household. But
needs may change, not the requirements.
Okay, well, I understood it differently.
No, you just said the requirements may change, but you meant the needs may change.
Correct. Okay, yes. What did you just say?
The needs may change, but the requirements do not, for the most part.
No, so I didn't understood it that way.
Okay.
Okay, great. Yeah, we're saying two different things. Great. So I understood it as the things that you need are the cornerstone. The requirements of how you go about getting the need may change. So as it pertains to how I was thinking of the question, do I meet my wife's needs? I believe I'm like 80, 20, 85, 15. I don't know all of the needs that specifically I may not be meeting. But I know there are some needs that I don't specifically meet. For the second part of the question, as it pertains to the requirements, I think that there are things that, from a requirement standpoint, my wife doesn't meet, but it's based off of me learning and growing and moving myself, and that's just what it's a void of her learning the things that I've learned and why I want to go this way as opposed to another way. So it's a ever, for me, the requirement of how you get there, that's a ever evolving thing because I'm trying to evolve. So I think that there's things that specifically lack. But I think that overall I love my wife and I wouldn't do anything other than keep the little schmuckers there.
All right, we left out first, brother. Let me ask you a question. Go ahead, my bad.
No, I was just saying she's smiling. That's a good deal.
Con. What you feel comfortable with sharing? What requirement do you have that's not being met? Yeah, I'll stop there first.
Like I think I have a zeal for things as I learn them, and as I am exposed to them, and I think that my wife and I have had conversations about. For me, I see certain things as always an opportunity to get better or opportunity to coach, and she may not see it that way. And Lawson and I, we talked about it, and I even talked with you about it. Like I didn't marry myself, so there's things that she's just not gonna know until I say it or unless I bring them up because I didn't marry myself. But in that effect, knowing what she knows about me, I think that her zeal for me, it don't match. And I think that when your wife's zeal doesn't match or the expectation of the zeal doesn't match, I think at times it kind of desensitizes it desensitizes the way that you want to approach or way you want to go towards, for me, certain things, because I'm like, well, I would want my wife to have that same zeal as myself, but if it's not piquing her zeal to the level I'm at, like, is it that she doesn't understand? Is it that she doesn't see it the same way? And if she doesn't see it the same way, why? It's one of those things. And I think that in the way that this world is just ever changing, ever evolving, if you have to second guess yourself in something, you might as well not do it, because you got to be all in to approach things.
So so I can make sure I'm following, then what's the requirement that's not being met? Is it the zeal?
The ability to if you don't have the zeal, get the information that would make you either say, no, not a good idea, no, great idea. Now I understand. Be on the same page with the understanding of why something would be this way versus just letting it be, I would say.
Watch this versus Keisha.
Yes, sir.
What's that requirement that he just listed? You know?
I don't.
Huh?
I don't. I would need a specific example.
Yeah, the question was, what's the requirement that's not being met? Now you're answering the question.
I would say the requirement is home fiscal intelligence. Home fiscal intelligence.
Hey, listen.
Is that not the require? That's a requirement.
I'm just saying, my good brother, I tell you, I be writing some of these wordings down. I be like, I'm gonna use that one. If he coming with, that's my first time ever really putting those together. But it's definitely home physical intelligence. Like, what does that mean? Now, wait, before you answer, Keisha may already know. I mean, y'all married. Keisha, do you know what that means?
I know I know what he is speaking about, and I feel like in that.
Wait, before you go forward, I'm gonna give it right back to you. Tasha, do you know what that means?
No.
All right. What about you, Rochelle?
No.
I know what it means. I definitely know what it means. I think it's articulated very well, right? But Keisha knows what it means, right? Octavia?
Fiscal with an F, right?
Fiscal.
Fiscal with an F, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I thought you was going to answer the question. She went back on mute.
Well, I know what it means. He's talking about money.
Home fiscal intelligence. All right. So money. All right, cool. Go ahead, Keisha. You got it. I'll come back.
Based on what Selwyn is saying, I believe that the intelligence is there. It's just maybe the sense of urgency, like sitting down, having that conversation that could mean, in the case of an emergency, knowing that information, knowing what to do in the time of emergency, that sense of urgency to really sit down and have that conversation. It hasn't been on our, or I won't say my radar, because I know we have to do it. We just have not done it yet. So the intelligence is there, and just how he wants to run the house. The intelligence is there. Just haven't had the sit down conversation to really say, okay, if you're going to say this is important, then you need to make it important, and we need to have this conversation. We just haven't had it yet, because
So the need.
life has just gotten in the way, and life has been life, and things have been moving, and not to make an excuse about it, but it just hasn't been had.
Okay. No. I mean,
I want to say something real quick.
go ahead.
When I say fiscal intelligence, I don't that is not to mean the person is not intelligent about finances. That is not what that means. What it means is a person has the ability to understand it the way the leader or lender is actually, kind of displaying. That's it. I'm not saying that my wife is not intelligent. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think nobody. I think I can speak fair, but I don't think nobody thought that.
Okay. No, I was just,
It's good. Safe to sorry. Just clear it up. Just make sure I understand, because I say some stuff and I come back later like, I mean it like that. So here's my question. The requirement is home fiscal intelligence, right? But the need was just stated. Did you hear the need?
I might have missed it.
The conversation. How you want this to happen? What should I do? Like, let's sit down and have the conversation. In order for that to happen, there's a need that has to be met. I want you to do this, but remember, brothers, when we was talking about, it was one good sister in the body. Well, all these sisters are good sisters. But there was one particular sister in the body that made a very, very fair point. If we're supposed to teach the younger women, what do we teach them? You know what I mean? The requirement is there, but the need ain't been met. And I was like, that's a hell of a point. Like, that comes back to us. Have we taught the older sisters what they should be teaching to the younger sisters? Or have we just simply said it? Teach the younger sisters. That's what we did, right? That's what we messed up at. And we have to be able to say, okay, you know what? I messed up right there. We need to be able to sit down and have, and show them, hey, we're learning. So right now, for example, the sisters are going through the women in the Bible. They're going all the way through. They studying characteristics, what they did, what they didn't do, what they messed up at, what they was blessed at. That's good. Because now when you talk to a younger sister, and of course we're going to go further through it, when you talk to a young sister, guess what you have now? Examples of righteous and unrighteous examples, and from scripture. Now, the process is the need is now being met for that, for them to now fulfill the requirement that we placed on them. So if home physical intelligence is the requirement, and if I didn't misunderstand, if now the wife is saying, well, husband, I need to have this conversation. I need to have this conversation so I can understand what the requirements are. So the physical, how you said it, the physical home
physical intelligence.
All right, home physical intelligence. Well, we all know the intelligence there. We could be as smart as we could be Albert Einstein's walking around here. But if I come to a fork in the road, you ain't tell me which direction you go. I probably could figure it out at some point, but it might be easy for us to have this conversation. You know what I mean? And
Oh.
so, Keisha, would you say that would be the need?
Correct.
So the need is there, and that's a perfect example. In order for requirements to be met, we got to make sure we meet the needs, right? My daddy worked construction for years and years and years. So that's a laborious and a torturous job. So you know that job ain't no joke. They got to go out there and build a house. I remember many days he go out there call, where the blocks at, man? The blocks ain't here. They call them blocks, the big cinder block. The blocks ain't here. How am I build a house? I need the block. You have put a requirement on me to have this house done by the end of the week. But yet I've lost 2 days work time because you have not given me the material that I need to build a house. Make sense? Like we got to find those needs. All right. But go ahead. You jump out.
I think also in that premise is it is also timing, and just like Keisha was saying, it, you know, life has been life, and it's like one of those things where
Yeah.
the need is there obviously, but I try to be as sensitive to timing as I've learned to be more sensitive with my timing. So that's why it hasn't been like all right, this is the day. It's been more of I see what's going on, and that can wait type deal.
Yeah, man.
And I was, for the example sake, here's the example.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's the bad thing about this captivity, man, because it's like we got to figure it out. Like this is how you know you're truly not free. You know what I mean? Free doesn't necessarily mean just because you don't have chains on your ankles or shackles around your neck. Yeah, you ain't got that. But can you go where you want to go? Nah, I got to work tomorrow. That's going to dictate and determine your life. Can you move how you want to move? No. What's holding you there? Well, all the characteristics of this captivity. And what it's going to ultimately do is what? Those same characteristics of the captivity, they're going to dictate your marriage. They're going to dictate how you raise your children. Like, because we have never been a free people, not one of us on here, we don't even know what it really truly means to be free. We feel it like, man, this happened, that happened, trying to navigate through life. But if a people who have never been conquered before would be like, wow, they would look at that a whole nother way. Like, wow, that's crazy. But that's what we deal with. So when we say life and lifing, they'd be able to sipping on a drink like, what? What does that mean? That's unfamiliar. So, but yeah. And in the midst of this, it's like we got to come up with strategic ways to unlife life. Does that make any sense? Slow it down a little bit so we can make sure the needs are met. Because here's what I do know, I understand. Once we get a good routine, a good schedule, the needs are being met, the requirements are being fulfilled, life start unlifing itself a little bit. You get a little bit of, but if you don't have a routine, that thing is different. It's real different. I told this story before. She probably get tired of hearing it. I told my wife, I said, listen, I'm gonna come home. Don't do nothing. I want to show you something. So I came home from work, still in police uniform. I said, don't do nothing. I don't want you to iron no clothes. I don't want you to fix no breakfast. Don't wait the kids. Don't do nothing. Just chill. Watch my routine. So I came home and I walked real slow. And the reason I was doing this is because when she's doing it, she like got me running around here, running out there, do hat, iron the shirt, maybe run over and do that, cook a pancake, come back over here, iron the sock, watch this. Come home and come in, get the babies a little pat on the butt, y'all wake up, give my kids time to get up. All right, y'all go brush your teeth. I get ready. While they doing that, I go over here. I got the clothes iron. They get ready to iron the clothes. Okay. I got the little waffles in there being cooked. By the time the clothes on, boom, they got their waffles. So I walked through the whole routine. And I was like, when I finished, had a lot of time to spare. But my point in doing that was, look how slow I'm moving. I'm moving very slow right now. I'm not speeding. I'm not running around. I can afford to move extremely slow because there was a routine I was showing her. And she was doing the same thing I was doing, right? But the routine was different. That's the same thing in everyday life. Once we get a routine on what we're doing, that lifestyle on life in itself a little bit. I mean, we were talking about some business things, and I was telling her, and we got on the, I forgot how we got on the subject matter, but I was like, man, I don't send out all those emails. She's like, yo, I said, no, look at this templates. I got templates for everything. Copy, paste, change name, change date, boom, 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 templates. So she started using that. She's like, oh man, this helps so much. Cause she one of them typers. Y'all ever seen the people? That's her. Be making me mad sometimes. I can't type like that, but she'll be in her door and I'm like, typing all this stuff up, man. You type that thing one time, put a template on there, and what I do, insert in parentheses and giant X's where I know I need to fill something, change something, that's what I got. I sub that in, boom, 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 templates. You know what I mean? We don't even want to talk about AI. Right? So it's the routine. And this is gonna, once we start getting the routine, understanding, slowing it down, or meeting those needs, and then the requirements are met, the routine changes. Life gonna stop on life. But you gotta make it do it. You know, you gotta make it do it. Anybody else want to jump in there? There's a lot of us in here. Tasha, what movie you want to watch today? Want to look for them?
The movies.
All right, go find this one. They ain't talking, but we ain't sitting here all day. We ain't doing 2 hours like this. Up in the go. Anybody want to get in there? Take part in the conversation?
I'm sorry, I was putting the baby down. I can jump in.
Go ahead, you got it.
I can say, I can't speak for him because he's sleeping, but for me, I think he does try to meet a lot of my needs. Like I said, we try to have that conversation a lot to make sure we are he's meeting my needs and my requirements are being met as well. So it's like, I think when we do have that conversation, it gives us an eye opener what each other want out of each other. And it gives us a better understanding. And I think it gives us a safe space for our children because they see us communicating. So it makes it a very safe space for us. And I think it's a nice thing because even though he's not in the truth, he still listens to me in this. He still kind of follows some of the things that we do, and I think that's a blessing because some people would be like, we're not doing that, I've been doing this for years. I don't want to do that. So, and that's a hard thing to break, especially when you've never seen this side of the Bible and you're not even into the Bible, but you're kind of doing some of the Bible things. So
Facts. Who on here has a need that you feel like is not being met, sisters?
now I can say it was like that at one point when I was trying to figure out about getting him into the truth. I felt like my needs weren't getting met because I'm over here searching God and you're not doing that with me.
What was the need?
For him to do it with me. I felt like he should be doing it with me because we're supposed to be one. So, at first I'm like, why isn't he? But God hadn't worked on him. He working on him in his own way. I can't make it happen. That was like it was such a need for me at first because I was so scared for him. After reading the Bible, like it made me fearful. It made me very fearful for people around me.
What requirement do you think that need caused you not to fulfill?
Our communication failed because I started drawing back from him. I don't think I even talked to you about it. And I was like, I was like drawing back from him because I'm like, what I'm supposed to do? And I
So
think
based off, go ahead.
So yeah, like after I talked to you about it and you kind of gave me an understanding of, God working on people in their own time. And then, like I said, he started doing little stuff like not eating pork, like little things. He came to Passover with us. Like at first he was like, no. And then he was like, okay, I'm coming. And he came and he enjoyed it.
God praise. Facts. And so you said the communication failed. Then
For a minute. For a minute, it
man.
failed because it just made me like retreat. I was too focused on the Bible because I was like, forget him. If like this is what God want me to do, I'm just going to focus on him right now.
So at that point, there was a need that you felt like wasn't being met, and it caused the communication to suffer for a bit.
Mhm.
And did he require you to communicate better?
Yes. It required me to explain how I was feeling. It required me
No,
to
what I'm asking is, did he require you? Was he having
Oh.
this requirement of your better communication from you?
Yes, so he definitely was. It's like I can't do anything if you don't tell me. I can't make any changes if you don't tell me what you're doing. He's like, I want to be on the same page with you, but I can't if you're not telling me. You're just mad.
And that stemmed from your need of why you felt like you needed him to read with you
And
or
not even
study with
just
you?
read with me because I felt like I was just really alone. That was just a really difficult time for me. I was really by myself. And I think the Most High was taking me through something because I was so dependent. Like I said, I was so dependent on my grandma before. I was looking for something or somebody to replace that. And I was needing him to do it. And I shouldn't have been needing him to do it. I should have been needing the Most High to fill that place. But I was like putting him in a need space. Like he was in need. And it made me very resentful a little bit.
No, you had it right. He should have filled that place. You know that I'm not saying you're saying this, but
Right.
that I'm married to Jesus thing.
Oh
Don't
no.
put it that way.
Well, no, yeah, not like married to Jesus,
Hold
but
on,
like
hold
I
on,
was.
hold on. I'm
Mhm.
not saying you're saying it. I'm not
Oh
saying
yeah.
you're saying it. I'm just saying that's what people say,
Oh yeah.
right?
No.
And they go with that mindset, and they be like, "Well, I'm gonna put God in this place," but there's a hierarchy and there's an order. You know what I mean? There's no I'm putting God in this place. There is an order that He's already set, right? That we follow. And now what I'm hearing is that order's not being followed. And you're in here, you're learning, you're studying. Now there's a need that's being met. And that need is, I think it's a natural spiritual need because I need you here. You're saying you want me to communicate more, but it's hard for me to communicate because the need of you being here to be able to communicate with is not being met. I mean, the need is not being met, so I can't fulfill the requirement that you're asking me of. Basically, is what you're saying. Am I wrong?
Right. That was during that time. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. Okay.
And I think once he kind of like stopped being so distant, and I think he was just distant because one, I was seeking God too, and he didn't know what I was really doing at that time. That was a big change. I just stopped doing stuff that we do every day. He's like, "What is wrong with her?" So if we're not doing the things that we normally do, then what are we doing? So I think that was a change too. But once he kind of understood where I was and where I stood with the Bible, he started understanding stuff. Like he'll see stuff now, he'd be like, no, that's evil. No, that's evil. No, we're not doing that.
And a side note, that's something too that we have to do, and I know almost all of us did this coming into the truth because it's a zeal that we have walking in, and sometimes it's probably easier for men to do this. We'll cold turkey something quick. Most times you see that with brothers, but you'll see that with sisters too. And we'll cold turkey it. Stop. And the other party be like, hold on. That's like, now you got cultural shocks. That's a spiritual shock to a lot of people. And and this is a side note, what we mess up at is we don't explain thoroughly enough. Right. And sometimes we don't even know to explain thoroughly enough. I remember when I first called my wife, hey, we gonna keep the Sabbath. I didn't even know how to keep the Sabbath. I just know that I learned, the spirit hit me. I'm supposed to do this, and we've been keeping it ever since. And it's gotten better, and we've grown over the years. But I didn't even know how to keep it. What we gonna do? I don't know. We're gonna keep it though, and it was just a complete U-turn. But now for us, it was not as much as a spiritual shock because we had already stopped even before we claimed or said we're in the truth. We stopped. We knew the holiday was wrong. That was our talking point when we met. Almost 15 years ago. Like, well, we know Christmas off. Like we was in the church saying that was wrong. That wasn't. we knew these things were already wrong. It wasn't that, so that wasn't hard for us. But keeping the Sabbaths and stuff like that, keeping God's laws, we had to come into that. So, but yeah, that was just a quick side note. We got to spiritually, like, we have to speak on things and clear things up, because if not, we can push the other person away. We can push them off because they don't really know what's going on. Wait, we finna do what? And most times, person be like, I ain't really got a problem doing that, but I don't know how to do it. What are you talking about? Where are we going? What's going on? You know, we need to be more vocal and understand. But I definitely understand what you're saying, though, sis. Anybody else? A need that's not being met that you think it needs to be met in order for you to fulfill a requirement, or a requirement that's not being fulfilled and you think there's a need that you must meet for that requirement to be fulfilled, if you feel it's group worthy.
Say that part again.
The whole thing would. So I was asking, because it's popcorn style. Anybody can pop in there, brother, sister. If it's a sister, like, is there a need that's not being met and it needs to be met so that you can fulfill these requirements? All right, because a lot of times brothers place requirements, needs not met though, and then the sister couldn't do it even if she's trying to do it. And on the flip side, brothers, are there requirements that you need to be kept, but you're giving the need, but the sister, the wife, is not, fulfilling these requirements? Like, so I'm just asking, is there, from each one's perspective, if you're requesting this of me, I need this.
So I feel like I have a need that's not being met, but I don't feel like it's attached to a requirement.
Okay. Is it group worthy? Meaning,
Yeah.
okay.
He mentioned it. Can you lower your volume a little bit? He mentioned the travel thing. It's not that I need to travel. I prefer, and we've talked about it, we need time alone from our job, from these kids, from just how we move about this world. We need time, just him and I, to be a couple. And it's hard to get him to do that because he wants to include everyone, like he says. He wants to bring the children. He wants to bring my mom. He wants to invite other people. And I'm like, I just want to be alone with you. I want to be reminded of why we're a couple, why this works, why I love you, all the things. And he doesn't feel like that's a need. But I don't feel like that is attached to a requirement.
Let me ask you something. I don't know if y'all have had this conversation before. We had talked about the group. So let's talk about. Let me ask you, Lawson, you still there? Hold on. Give me a second. Slack. So here's my question. So and this will go for any brother, actually. Because a lot of brothers, not just in this body, in a lot of bodies, a lot of brothers be like, I need more intimacy, right? Any brothers, let me see your hands if y'all agree. Intimacy. I need more intimacy. Wife, I need you on your. But y'all lying. Nobody? Lawson. Selwyn. All right. Ain't a whole lot of brothers. I saw the wave. I got you.
No, he
Oh,
was
man.
clapping.
No, I saw a lot. That's about age, right? They kind of waved through the camera a little bit. It was funny. So using this, what you said about the being alone, the traveling or dating or whatever it is, we're doing it together as a couple. You said, I don't think that's attached to a requirement, but it is. Because, Lawson, do you require intimacy?
Yes.
Okay. Well, watch how they connect. The requirement is there. It's been placed as a requirement. Well, her need is, I need to be alone with you. I need time. I need, let's be a couple. I love my mama too, but let's leave her home. Like what? Like, I don't want, we doing a triplet date. Me, you, and my mama, all us going, no. Deuce, we're gonna leave Deuce home or leave Deuce with grandparents or leave Deuce here. Like me and Tosh, like, we happy now because the kids starting to get to the point where we're inching out a little bit to be able to leave them. But that, Octavia, that need is attached to a requirement, because if he's requiring that, it's going to be hard for her to fulfill that requirement if the need of her wanting to spend alone time is not being met. And I think, honestly, and I'm gonna land my mic, I think us as men, we lose that walking as leaders in Israel. I was literally just talking to a brother yesterday, I think, on the phone. And he actually said that. Not saying no names. Sasha, you know what I'm talking about? He was right there. We was all on the phone. You know, he literally said that. He said, well, we used to do this, but, now I'm in truth. No, ain't got time, trying to do this as a nation. I got to do this for the nation. I got to do this for the nation. I got to do that, and I got to do this. Was coming back from?
Yeah.
Huh?
I remember.
Okay, yeah, was coming back from getting some knees. So it's like, that's what we do as men. We actually get lost inside the nation. I do. We get lost, but we got to remember the requirement. And I forget to you right now, I'll tell you, we got to remember the requirement is we got to take care of the house first. You can't take care of the nation if you ain't. If our wife's saying, I need some alone time, I want to go to the movies, me and you, but I'm never making it happen, then we all know as adults, even though we don't always go with it, the intimacy does start outside the bedroom. It does. Right? But I think as men, that's where we drop I think that's where we have to learn how to balance and the juggling act. Because it's a lot, especially if you're a teacher, especially if you deal with a lot of people, especially if you counsel inside and outside the body. It's a lot to juggle. And sometimes it's just like, I just want to turn the phone off. I'm going to lay down. I'm going to go to sleep. But I'm sleeping. I can't sleep because my mind won't stop going because I got everybody else's. It's a lot to juggle. And so now the wife is over here. We as men do that. And so I'll tell you, I think it is connected to a requirement. And that need does need to be met if you're asking me, but you got it.
I think you're correct.
Say again?
I think you're correct. I didn't associate the requirement because intimacy for me means something different than it does for him. Our definitions of intimacy is totally different. So the alone time with him, being away from the kids and family and work, is intimacy to me. His definition of intimacy is totally different than mine. So that's why I said it's not attached to a requirement. But you are correct, it is attached to that requirement. And I don't think he connects the two, which I take that back. We just had a conversation, and I think he's realizing that that is important. Because he was hung up on, I don't want to go someplace you've already been. If I've already traveled to someplace, then he doesn't want to go there. And I'm like, well, that's you being closed-minded, because I experienced this with my friends. You're my husband. It's a different dynamic. I still don't want to go. But now he's more open to doing that. Because I'm like, I don't have that mindset. You've been to places I haven't been. I haven't said I don't want to go because you've been.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. And I think as men, that is something we gotta learn. I try to start practicing that stuff that Tasha like. But if you want to do it, okay. I think it was last night. I think I was in here working, multitasking. I think I had the clubhouse going, small room, people that's shooting the breeze. And I forgot what was said. I was like, hey man, I'm finna go check on my wife. So I made sure I got up a couple times to go check on her. But at that point, she was kind of asleep. Well, not the first time, but she was in and out of sleep. But I hadn't been in there for probably a couple of hours, I think. But see, I kind of got lost inside of what I was doing. I'm setting stuff up. I'm working on this. I'm working on that. I was doing some editing and things of that nature. And all that juggling that, because you're wearing so many hats, get lost. But that's a requirement. Like, hey, listen, what? 48 hours? Jeez, that's way too long. What's wrong with you? I'm playing. I just playing. Don't come off mic. I'm joking. But kind of. So in order for that requirement to be met as men, we got to remember we have to meet the needs. Again, the house can't be built if you have not supplied the material for the house to go up. I can't put hey, in 2 weeks, this home needs to be built. But yeah, a whole week don't pass and I haven't even given you the material to build a home. But unfortunately, we do that sometimes. And guess what? That's no different than the unjust king. Who remembers what that stipulation was actually put on the people? Anybody? Scripturally?
Yeah, it was in Egypt. The king took he took the stuff to make the brick.
The straw.
The straw, he took the straw to make the brick, and he still required them to make the same amount of bricks that they would with the straw.
Took away what was needed for them to do their job and put the same requirement on them to do their job. That's an unjust ruler. And as a husband and the head of household and the father and the teacher, whatever, you don't want to be an unjust ruler. Make sure we're meeting the needs so that the job or the requirements that we're placing are being met. Okay. Anybody else? I know those of you who may not be married, like, I can't talk. You could talk. You could jump in there too. You can give your thoughts, give your understanding, give your, if it was this, if it was that, you take part in the conversation. You got it. Rochelle.
I had a quick question on topic, but still off topic at the same time for the single ladies. Are we required to be married?
Are you required? No. Now,
Okay.
I know, and for some people, not saying for you, but some, it could be for you. You tell me, but I know for some, based on the conversation of the covenant, the question happens, do I have to be married? No. Now, the way the covenant works, because, let's go backwards. When the covenant was made, I know a lot of sisters have an issue with this, but take it up with the father. Yeah. When the covenant was made, it was made with Abraham. It wasn't made with Sarah. It was made with Abraham. In Genesis 15, when the parts was parted, on the left and the right and had to walk between the parts, Abraham was there, not Sarah. Father made that covenant with Abraham. And we read Psalms 105, I think starting at 6, read down, that same covenant that was made with Abraham was passed all the way down and given to Israel as a covenant and as a law. It's the same exact thing. Thank you. Now, with that being said, you got the Hebraic culture, right? You got the Hebraic culture where the daughter is not going to leave home until she's married. Where is she until that point? She's with her father. That covenant was made with Abraham. I've heard some say in times past that the women are not a part of the covenant. Well, that's not true. Although the covenant was made with Abraham, everybody in Abraham's house benefit from that covenant, including the stranger. I ain't talking about the Israelite who wasn't in Israel. I'm talking about the blood-born Gentile stranger. There is a part in the covenant for him as well, right? So if you're a sister and you're not married, how do you get in the covenant? Because the covenant was made with Abraham. Well, you're a part of Abraham's house. If you read it in Genesis 17, it's with him in his house. And it goes down to his seed, right? Now, this is why you didn't see sisters moving out, going to the east side of Jerusalem, getting apartments. You don't leave home until you go see with your husband. You go from the father to the husband. That was the culture. Now, let's say you never got married. Am I in the covenant? Right? Do I have to be married? Or do you have a father? Even if your father's passed, you got him somehow. Was a covenant made with him? Because there's no way on God's green earth you can convince anybody on God's green earth that every sister in Israel was married. They weren't. Matter of fact, Leah, right? Jacob didn't work for Leah. Who did he work for? Rachel. Now Laban threw Leah in there, right? But now let's say that don't happen. Leah was the elder daughter. She was unmarried. Let's say now, I don't know, you're a widow. Your husband's passed. Does it automatically kick you out the covenant until you get another husband? No, that's not how it works. It's not what it's talking about. Brothers teach that, though. If you don't get married, you're not in the covenant. Well, what's that? That's what the law. Also says you're supposed to go to Jerusalem on the Passover. Were you there? Nah, you said Orlando. You went in Jerusalem. So what does that mean? Honestly, there are certain things you just can't do. And by doing that to sisters and putting that mentality on them, you're doing what the Christian church say Israelites do. Put people back into the bondage of the law. Now, is the law bondage on how they explain it? No, that's a gross misinterpretation. But you are yielding yourself to their interpretation when you do that. You're putting people in a place, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, to be bound and to fear for their salvation because you're stupid. I'm just saying, that's what you're doing. So does a sister have to be married? No, you don't have to be married. You have a father, right? Matter of fact, I'm gonna end with this, and I'm gonna give it to you, Lost. You in captivity, right? Which we are. Could be in America, it could be in Persia, it could be in Babylon, Assyria, wherever. You're in captivity, and you ain't meet no It's just like brother that are worthy of marriage because they all in captivity for a reason, right? But you're keeping the faith in Christ. You're keeping God's laws. Yeah, but you ain't take one of these wicked jokers to be your head, your king, your lord. So therefore, you out the covenant. Don't let no brother teach you that. For any sister here, that's stupid. That's not how it works. So in short, to answer that question, no, you don't have to be married. Is it a great benefit to be married? Yes, if you could be married, but don't rush into nothing without counsel. Don't rush into nothing, where you'll place yourself and you may be worse off than you ever been. But in short, no.
Con.
Okay. You got it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. 1 Corinthians 11 lets us know the hierarchy and the order.
Mm-hmm.
Then, the head of every man is Christ. The head of Christ is the Father. The head of the woman is the man, etc. Numbers chapter 27, it states that if a man dies with no sons, the inheritance, or in this case, the covenant agreement, does that correlate from 1 Corinthians chapter 11 to the question of Sister Rochelle, husband, even though the man is the head of the woman, but in her question, there is no husband per se. The covenant going from the head of the man, which is Christ, the head of Christ is the father. The inheritance goes to now the daughter because there is no son as the intermediate between Christ and the woman. Numbers 27:8, to be exact.
So ask that question, like, what's the question again?
The question would be to her question about access to the covenant with no husband. But the covenant or the inheritance of the covenant states that if a man dies with no sons, then the inheritance goes to the daughter. Is that a correlation between, Numbers 27, verse 8, and the question of the covenant?
It wouldn't be one I would use to make the point. But I can see what you're saying. Can you? I believe so. I have to look at it in more depth. It wouldn't be my first go-to. But it is a good example where you have situations, like we were just talking about, you're in captivity. We over here for a reason. Ain't no good brothers to marry. It's a unfortunate situation. Am I just supposed to go marry the mass murderer and the stalker just because I got to be married? No, it's a bad situation, right? That's what was happening in Numbers 27. Well, who do we give it to? And it was one that puzzled Moses. Moses was like, oh, yeah, you're right. Hold on. He had to go talk to the Lord. All right. And then he came back. It's okay. This is what the Lord has said. All right. And they're going to go down to the daughters. So it's based on, it's circumstantial, based on the circumstances that you're looking at, just like the Passover. If you're unclean due to a dead body, well, circumstantial. You're unclean, then do this. All right. If this happens, then do this. In that situation, that was what's going on. And that's the same situation you're facing today. You're in captivity. All right. The brothers want to fight, argue, and kill everybody spiritually. Should I marry him just because? No. No. Because if that's the case and brothers teach that, you know how much stuff, you know how many things we are not doing right now when it comes in accordance to the law? For example, let me see the hands of y'all who let the land rest on the 7th year. Nobody. Don't know. No, nobody here who own land. Who own land here? Nobody. Because in America, you think you own it. You pay for it, you pay taxes, you don't own it. Nobody owns land, right? And even if we were in the land, would you let the land rest on the 7th year? It's still only if it applied to you. Everybody didn't own land. Everybody had crops. Everybody had farmers. Like it, you have to understand what the law is talking about. That's why there were lawyers. They say lawyers came to Christ. Why they had lawyers? Because we needed those to break down the law. What y'all think the testimony is? It's the prophets breaking the law down, right? That's why when we read about, well, why did Nehemiah tell them they can't buy or sell? They stopped them from, because Nehemiah interpreted from the law, like a lawyer, that this is what the law is saying. Because it don't say that in black or white. Show me where it says you can't buy or sell. It don't say that. It talked about services, right? And now it took somebody to understand, well, what's a service? Oh, it means this, it means that, it means this. The terminology is not even going to be the same. There's nowhere in the law where it says don't do drugs. There's nowhere in the law where it says don't be an alcoholic. Talks about drinking, but not in that terminology, not like that. So it's about understanding the law, understanding the circumstances that come with it, just like what Christ taught in Matthew 12. Hey, your lamb in the hole, you finna leave them there? Yeah? Your grandparents on the side of the road. Oh, it's a Sabbath, you ain't going to get them, huh? Just going to let semi-truck come on through and hit them. That's why he was talking to Nicodemus as well. How are you a teacher in Israel? How is it you don't know these earthly things, but yet you want to know heavenly things? It's about understanding law, and what a lot of these brothers are doing is taking face value and putting on the sisters, hey, if you don't do this, and a lot of these brothers doing it out of wickedness too. They just trying to bag you, honestly. You gotta have a husband. You gotta, hey, listen. Now I've heard, and this one really get under my skin. Hey, listen, you already got 3, 4, 5, 6 kids. Ain't nobody gonna want you no way. Y'all know they be doing sisters like that? You might as well go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, take what you can get. Somebody told me that. I was like, wow. Wow. Only time I say your children should come into play in the conversation that's even remotely close to that is, hey, listen, things are getting real. You have people to look after, young ones. Keep your mind on that. Not that, oh, you need to accept me because you ain't worthy of nobody else. That's crazy. But so when they saying these things, they just saying it to bag you. They saying it because they like you.
Okay. I wouldn't even say they like you. They just trying to get over.
Pretty much. Exactly what it is. And you'd be crazy. I'm gonna say you're crazy, but it's crazy how widespread it is throughout the community. You know? So, but short answer, Rochelle, nah. That ain't how it works. It's not how it works. Anybody else? Rough crowd. Tasha, what? Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, yeah, ain't nobody really volunteering.
Now I'm finna call on Tasha. Tasha, what need? Is there a need not being met that it's causing you not to fulfill a requirement?
All right, Sister Tasha, don't be shy. Don't be tell them like it TI is, like you called me the other day.
Hey man, go on mute. Get on mute. Get on mute. And Tasha, let me tell you this here. Just make sure you just understand the other half of the Butterfinger is at stake here. Don't play with
Ain't that something? No, you already promised it to me. We got witnesses.
Video magically disappeared.
For me, I would have to say, I don't know. It's such a tough question because there's so many different aspects that go into a relationship. I would have to say emotionally though wasn't still kind of is an issue. Because as you say, I understand the need to sacrifice for the nation. So I'm willing to put myself on the back burner emotionally to make sure that it happens.
Mhm.
But I do have to take some responsibility in that too, with saying emotionally my needs aren't met because and we discussed this and you brought it to my attention too. You don't explicitly tell me because I have a problem or one of my shortcomings. It's two of them. Communication is one, and the other one is setting expectations for others. So just kind of combining those two shortcomings on my behalf, when the emotional need is not met, I become unhappy, which is where your requirement kind of come in joyfulness that you um stated repeatedly to everyone. Like, I want you to do it, but I want you to do it with joy. I don't want you to do it with contempt or resentfulness. But when the emotional need is not met, it's kind of hard for me to come in joyfulness because I am already coming from the emotion of feeling emotionally neglected. Um, but again, with me taking accountability, I don't always make that clear. A lot of times, what I've realized is I leave it for you to figure out. I may express to you what the need is, but in terms of how to fulfill that need for me, I don't come with explicit instructions. It's not very clear. It's very vague, kind of like Selwyn earlier when he was like the home fiscal intelligence. I have a general idea what you mean, but I don't explicitly know what that means in terms of a requirement. And I find I do that with you a lot. And you said it's okay, a lot of times I got to figure it out by myself. And I find it challenging and even amusing sometimes. But I can understand how overall that becomes an additional burden for you. Because if you give me a requirement or a need and your instructions on how to fulfill the need are not explicit, I'm going to bump my head. Even if I'm attempting to fulfill the need, it's not recognized because I'm trying and failing, which is part of the process. You try and fail, but because the instructions on no, this is clearly what I need and how I need it to be delivered are not communicated, then even as you're trying, it kind of feels like you're not doing it. And then you have to bring it to my attention. Yes, I am doing it. I'm attempting and I'm not being rewarded for my attempts to fulfill it. And I'm like, oh yeah, but I never made it clear on how you needed to do it. And so I think those two kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah, yeah. You're right, Adrian. Seeing none of that Butterfinger. Ain't giving her nothing. Adrian said no Butterfinger. No Butterfinger around today. Nah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Like it has to be what she's talking about is, and this is how I operate, man. Listen, I don't know if y'all think I'll be using these examples just to use them. If somebody act like they don't want to be around, they want to do something, whatever, I'll be dead serious. Get away from, I don't want you in my vicinity. I need the scriptures say be like the Father, and I know he do that, so I'm trying to be like him. So that thing is, let's go with the need first. State the need again, Tasha. Let's talk about it. Because that's what we were talking about in the car yesterday. Me and the brother, when he said that, and that stood out to me, and I was like, say it again.
The need is just emotionally. So yeah, it's emotionally, and it's different aspects to that. Like, and
Yeah.
I've brought this to your attention. Like, I feel like you lack vulnerability with me, but you can be on the phone with someone else, and I notice vulnerability. But then looking at, okay, well, how am I contributing to the lack of vulnerability? I am not vulnerable with you because I may be feeling something and then I hold it back. You can sense the anger or, the resentment, or you can sense there's a problem, but you are not clear on exactly where it's stemming from.
And so, and this is a good example. My requirement is open your mouth. As a pet peeve to this from here to the sun. Like if we're adults. So if I'm asking questions in class and nobody's saying nothing, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get off this thing. That really annoys me. I really get irritated. Like I feel like nobody in here is less than, I would say, I don't know, 30. Everybody at least 30 here. And as a bunch of adults, it needs to be stated, right? And so what she's referring to, she said, I don't say nothing. Like, we used to have a really bad, like some years ago, I was like, oh, this thing used to drive me crazy. I look at her, be like, you all right? She'd be like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. All right. I go about my business, right? And then, yeah, 3 days later or 3 weeks later, what's wrong with you? You remember that time in 1948 when you asked me was all right? Nah, bro, this can't be real. We're not going to talk about this. And so that used to be a thing. I'm like, hey, listen, you got to start saying this. You have to start saying this. And I had a conversation with someone not too long ago saying that if you don't say what's bothering you, you can't expect people to always figure it out. Now, me and my situation, I just started figuring it out. I started paying attention, looking, sitting back. But, and I'm going to agree with her, that is unfair. We shouldn't make anybody have to do that when we could just say it. We all here at least minimum 30 years old. It should be said, right? Literally should be said, like, so that don't happen, you know? And we talk about this quite often, right? You know, she still had a butterfinger because what we're saying is, even when I do marriage counseling, I don't say anything in counseling that we don't already talk about. Like we had these conversations already. Would Tasha, can I get a witness, a cosign?
Yeah, we do.
All right, I
We have
get
a
it.
lot of discussion.
Yeah, I give you the full butterfinger for that. Okay, I got you. So these are conversations we actually have. All right, like it's like for real. So I'm not saying to you something that when we log off, you know, it's something completely different. Nah, this is what we talk about now is what we'll talk about when we get off, right? And so it has to be that way. And so when we was driving yesterday, when the brother said what he said, that kind of struck home because when he said it, he was like, it started off with sports. I say, you gonna put this particular child in the sport? Like, nah, I ain't got time for that. I did it with my first child, but my second one, I got too much going on with the nation. I got to do it. Like, it hit me then. You can't lead the house of God if you're not leading your house. He won't let you. Get out the way, right? And that's how the conversation started. And so last night, what you took, fish oil pill? It don't matter what she took. I don't want to put too much, but she took some vitamins. They didn't agree with her. And so she was just out. And I went and checked on her. So I'm in here multitasking. I'm like, you know what? Hey, y'all, I'll be back. I'm going to check on my wife. So I muted up, went and checked in, made sure it was all right. Made sure I cooked the dinner, made sure I washed the dishes, you know, because what was said, this is what we got to go with. When there's needs, you gotta hear it. You gotta hear the need, right? And you gotta be able to respond to it. And so the need was there. And so my goal was to fulfill the need because I just heard from a third party where you can allow yourself to go to. And I think as men in Israel, we all allow ourselves to go there, especially if you're leading the teaching. I heard from a third party, and I'm not even sure if he understood what he was saying or just how it came off or whatever the case may be. So I'm like, you know what? Wow, I heard that. And I deal with a lot of people. And if you look at it this way, like look at how many people in 3, 6, 9, 12. There's 13 people on here. There's 13 people I'm facing, but there's one of me facing you. Right? Now we'll add the brothers and sisters outside the body that's calling. We ain't even said nothing about my wife and children yet, right? We got to pay bills too. As a company got to be ran. It's a slew of things that's happening, you know? And what happens is we allow ourselves to get lost in that. That's why I was saying that earlier. When I said it's starting off earlier, I was saying that based on that conversation, we as brothers got to realize that, you know, there's a need that got to be fulfilled. So if that emotional need is not being fulfilled, then what requirement is that attached to? Well, that requirement is attached to, hey, listen, if you're gonna be around me, I don't like no Debbie Downer attitude. Perk up. What's wrong with you? Like, I don't want my day to be spoiled. I want to be in a good mood. So change your mood as well. That's my requirement. Because of everything I got going on, all right, everything I got going on, and I say this, when I have problems, you cannot become my problem. Right? Don't become my problem if I have problems. But that's my requirement. Just like building that house, build that house in a week, but you haven't delivered the materials. What's the same thing with emotional needs she's referring to? If I have problems, don't become my problem, but you're becoming my problem. Why? And let me clarify this. You know, so everybody can be understanding that, you know, Tasha's very submissive. So I'm gonna make sure I want to say what I'm saying clearly. But she's still a human, she's still a woman, and she has emotional needs. Brothers, when we get lost in the sauce so deeply, we neglect that. And it might not even be your goal to neglect that need, but that need is not met. Now my requirement hasn't been fulfilled. And now I don't take kindly when my requirements not filled. Like, but now I got to stop and say, but is the need met? And when I heard that on the conversation, that was, I definitely try to meet the needs. It ain't like it just dawned on me yesterday and now I got to do this now. I definitely been trying to do it. But just to hear somebody say it was an even stronger point of why it should be pressed even harder. Right? Because I heard myself, and brothers, y'all probably heard yourselves in that as well. Right? Don't let the outside world interfere so greatly that you're placing requirements that can't be fulfilled because the need hasn't been fulfilled. The material hasn't been delivered for the house to be built yet. And so when I was in here, I'm like, working on something. Hey, and it dawned on me. I forgot what was said, but it dawned on me again, like, hey, y'all, I got to go. And, I came back eventually, but I got to go. All right. And when I was sitting here working, let me send this text message. Hey, don't worry about this. I got it. So that's a real eye opener. And so, but what's being said is what she's saying. If you a sister, even if you ain't married yet, when you get married, if you get married, and if you are married, that got to be said, but it has to be said in a way where it's explicit. It's clear. It's plain upon tables. That makes sense. I don't know if I said what I said clearly, or if I explained it the way I want to.
It was clear.
No, it makes sense.
Good.
It makes sense.
I seen the hand. 7 knows your hand. Tosh, you had anything you want to put in there for?
No, I think I said it all.
Y'all heard that? I'm the best husband in the world. That was all. That's the only problem we got. Oh, hey. Y'all need to be like me on that plan. I'm joking. That's a joke. I'm smiling this time, Tasha. She said, I don't smile when I joke, so I smiled. Haha. 7, it's on you.
Shalom, everybody. I would say
Shalom.
I would say as far as a need that may be missed sometimes, and again, as I say sometimes because it could be lack of communication on my part in regards to my feelings. I would say I feel as though I am there for everyone in the household except myself. And I tend to, my cup tends to be left on E all the way to the very bottom when it comes to something for me or something for myself or do something for myself, because I'm constantly filling everyone else's cup and there's nothing left for myself. So in regards to that, I mean, what I'm trying to say is I feel as though I know Selwyn works hard. I know he has the football team. I know he coaches man's team and he needs that time to decompress, whether that be by himself, whether that be in the home, out the home, whether that be meeting up with some friends, catching up, things like that. I don't have that. I don't have that type of decompression time because I feel as though I'm constantly doing in the house for everyone else and making sure everyone else is good. And then when it's time for me to possibly do something for myself, i.e. take a bath, sit down, watch a movie, it's already late. It's late in the evening. It's really practically bedtime. Everyone else is already asleep. I get up at 5 a.m. to get the kids ready for school and my day. And when I get back home, I'm starting my day for work. Once work is done, I'm picking up kids. I'm prepping for food to get cooked, or I'm coming back home, finishing out my work day. I'm prepping food. I'm cooking food. If the kids aren't here, we're tackling the kitchen. Then we're doing the bedtime routine. Then we're ironing clothes for school, and then we're preparing ourselves for the very next day to do the same thing all over again. I feel as though there is nothing left for me. Now, to say, okay, well, what about in the daytime? Maybe you can say something to Selwyn then. In the daytime, Selwyn and I, sometimes in the afternoon, we're passing each other because when I'm leaving to go pick up Kinsley, when I come back, he's already leaving to go to the football team to go to practice. And then depending on the day of the week, he's going to another football practice because now man's team is practicing. So there is no time in the daytime for me to say, hey, let me just get away for an hour or two for myself, because there is no time. And then once he actually gets to make it home, he has to be able to decompress from his day. But once he gets home, I'm already either making dinner, already made dinner, getting Kinsley ready for bed, and getting ready to plan out the very next day. And even on the weekend, we have the Sabbath where we do get to rest and, we're home. And then Sunday, he may have a football meeting. So that's going to pull him away from the house as well. So I have Kinsley. There is no time for me to just, say, hey, I'm going to step out for a couple of hours. I'm going to go spend some time with Keisha because I feel like if I can't be good to myself and replenish myself, how can I be good for anyone else in this house? And if I'm not out with Selwyn, if we may go somewhere or go out to dinner, I'm constantly in the house. I am in the house 99.9% of the time. My dealings is always in the house because I also work from home. There is no me leaving out of the house. And if I am leaving out of the house, I'm grocery shopping, I'm running errands, I'm picking up kids. It's never Keisha going out to just do something for Keisha. I mean, every now and again, I might get together with some friends, and that might be once every 2 to 3 months, if that. I'm constantly in the house, and I feel as though sometimes I tend to lose myself because I don't have time for myself, because I feel like I'm always pouring into others. So in that need, to go back to that question, in that need, I feel as though that need is not being met because there is no time carved out in any time during the week for me to be like, hey, babe, go do something for yourself. I got the kids. I got this. Take a couple of hours to yourself. We'll be here when you get back. There is none of that. And again, that could be my lack of communication because I'm not speaking up for myself to say that. I just assume he sees that and he sees what I'm doing and he sees I don't go anywhere. So maybe he would just be like, you know what? You don't get out much. Go ahead and do XYZ. So again, that's why I say it could be on me and my lack of communication.
So there's no hour that it used to be like an hour or two that you get out in recent times, and there's no hour or two that you
get out. Maybe once every other month, I might try to ease out and go get my nails done. But when I do that, that's during my work hours. That's not during a time where I really don't have to commit to anything. That's me sneaking out, quote unquote, during lunchtime during the week to go get my nails done. But outside of that, no, it isn't.
Okay. What about with the kids? I know, Kinsley, she's still small, but the others are older. Here's what we do. Here's actually, I did this last night. You know, Tasha was in the bed. She wasn't feeling well. I'm finna cook dinner for the Sabbath. I wasn't finna do it by myself though. Hey, babies, I came in. What's up, Daddy? Y'all look at look. Hey, look over there. What's that? Dishes. I need you to handle that for me. All right, take care of that for me. They're ingrained to the point where, or still ingrained, should I say, to the point where you see it on the floor, pick it up. All right. I literally will see something on the floor and step right over it and keep walking. Remember, like, why you don't pick it up? Because I'm gonna see how long they go. I'm gonna get them a little bit to see if they can pick it up because I'm trying to train them to pick it up. And if they don't, guess what? Hey, come here. Let's walk to this. You see this that you dropped? I wanted to see if you were going to step over it. Now I stopped. I did it for a purpose and a reason. I want to see if you were going to step over it. And guess what? You did. You don't step over something you drop. Pick up behind yourself. You eat this your eating spot. When you're done, look on the floor. See if you drop some crumbs. Look. So teaching them, you know what that does? Well, ultimately, because if I'm working and doing something, whatever I'm doing, it's going to help Tasha. Now, with that being said, I got to call Tasha. Hey, come here. Let me talk to you. Hey, have a seat. Why'd you wash the dishes? Oh, because I was just going through my day and is being counterproductive. I need you to stop. Like, you got to uningrain yourself with doing certain things because we want them to do it. Because when they do it, one, is teaching them responsibility. Two, it's making your load lighter. All right? Killing two birds with one stone. Yeah, she got it. But that's what I started doing with them. And I say this, like, and maybe you do the same thing. I'm not sure. But it makes your load lighter when you divvy things up. It also makes the load lighter when the husband sees certain things on the load and you go and, like you say, offer that. I agree with that. You know, Tasha's same way. I used to think the girl sees snipers or something outside. She would just not come outside. Don't leave the house. She got warrants or something. I don't know what's going on. I probably need a background check on her. Like, let's go out. Let's do this. I tell her all the time, I got the kids. Go. She like to go to the library. I got the kids. Don't worry about it. So the offering, I get it. But if it's offered or when it's offered, like, are you taking it? Like, because you do need that decompressing time. That has to happen, you know. I agree. But as far as what those who are old enough to do so, do you lighten the load through them, via them? Keisha?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question?
Like those who are old enough, because I know Kinsley's, she's still young, but you know, you got older children, like, you know, when they're there, just, hey, look, y'all, hey, tackle the dishes. Y'all doing this today. I got chores. Like, do you utilize, because that's what I do. You know, I utilize that method to try and help lighten the load around the house. Like, is that an option?
No, our older ones, they have chores, they have daily chores, like they tackle the kitchen. Now, when I see them really putting in that initiative and really getting it done, sometimes I do go in and say if Kendall's washing the dishes and man's cleaning the table and sweeping the floor, I might go put the food up and put the dirty dishes over towards the side of the sink so where she can access them. But I normally don't stand in there too long because I know they got it. But when I see them really putting that initiative in, I may go and may take on like one task, like putting the food away, or so she can have the dirty dishes to wash. Or if we're still sitting at the table a little bit longer and I know they have to get ready for school, I might wipe the table down. That's one less thing that man has to do. But normally when they're there, I don't just take over the full task of cleaning the kitchen versus when they're not. Now I will say, from our last marriage maintenance that we had, and just Selwyn and I talking about, we've had a conversation about, what we want and what we need. He has definitely stepped up when it comes to taking initiative, cleaning the kitchen or helping out and things like that. So I'm definitely not saying that. So we've definitely gotten to the point where even if I don't even ask or say anything, the dishes will already be clean, like during the daytime, or already put away and things like that as well.
Okay. So let's say Selwyn isn't that cleaning, and you say when the kid's cleaning, you might go in and join in. When Selwyn isn't that cleaning, do you go and join in? Maybe.
I
If
do.
you're there?
If I'm there, yeah, I do. I do.
So here's a question for you. It's a question for everybody. If you're under the water, you're drowning, you have no air, struggling to breathe. Your little, what do you call them things they put in their mouth to breathe? You know, you ain't got no air. And I've got, the divers, they put things in their mouth. I don't know what they call
Snorkeler.
it. Yeah, that thing, right? So yeah, that too. Whatever you call them. Hey, I know what I'm talking about, all right? You got to breathe through it. You're in the water. The diver, you got the air tank on their bag, you ain't got no air. Right? You got no air. And then somebody else is in the water. Would you take out your mouthpiece and give it to them to breathe? You're already dying. Would you take it out and give it to them?
No.
I mean, even if you did, it ain't gonna do nothing, right? So here's my question to you, Keisha. It's my question. Because I know somebody else like this too, who do this too. If you're saying this is what I need and I'm underwater and I'm just up to here with this, when you receive that and someone steps in, who, regardless of who it is, and they're giving you that space that you require and that you need, you can't take your mouthpiece out and give it to them to breathe. Like, you can't take that free time for your, that's what you need, because you're already, according to your explanation, that I need this, unless I'm hearing it or understanding it wrong. I'll tell you, Tasha the same way. She'd be like, oh man, I'm tired, I need this. You go in there and do something, or I had the kids doing something, then she go jump right in. No, you go sit down. This has been done to give you that break. And I understand the psychology behind it is that I just want to help real quick. I want you to think I'm not going to help you. No. We get the psychology behind it, but the psychology that's even further behind that is this has been done to help you. Like, you relax and sit down. Because if you already out of oxygen, you can't breathe, don't try and give you the oxygen that you don't have left to somebody else. They're jumping in to help you so you can go catch your breath. And now, as you say, I got to be whole in order to be able to help somebody else. Well, I'm doing this so you can catch your breath. Get that. Now you can come back and help once you catch your breath. But if you still ain't fully caught your breath and you still trying to be in the race, it's not going to do any good. Any moment that you can get, especially if schedules is just not allowing it, take that time, relax. Like if I'm doing, let's say I tell Tasha I'm gonna do the dishes, which y'all know how much I hate dishes. Let's say I do tell her I'm gonna wash the dishes. I'm not expecting her to come in and help me wash the dishes. If she do come in, start washing dishes, now I might just move out of the way and get a whole dishes. Like, I got it now. You go sit down, go relax. I'm doing this so you can chill. Take that time. Does it make sense what I'm trying to say? Or no? Or am I just babbling?
Yes, it
No,
makes
it made
sense.
perfect sense.
Yeah, take that time. And by taking that time, now you can become that whole that you were talking about. Now I can be more helpful, but I gotta catch my breath. I gotta get back, in the game by taking that rest. So when the rest is given to you, and it's me talking, of course, y'all have your own understanding in y'all individual homes and things of that nature. But I'm generally speaking, when that rest is given to you, take that rest. No one should be like, well, you ain't come help you get rest. That don't make sense. I'm doing this fully so you can get the rest. And that way you can get that mental and that emotional and that that decompressor, Don't receive it and then be like, nah, I'm good, I'll do it. And then later say, not saying you're doing this, but just generally speaking, and then later say, man, I need this. But when you had this, you didn't fully take advantage of it. That's for everybody on here. And I think, brothers, we do this too, because I'd be like, man, I'm tired, right? But then I push myself further. And I think we all need to really slow that down because we are burning ourselves out. Because I forgot who said earlier, life gonna life, man. It's gonna life whether we help it or not. So it's gonna do its thing. We need to just take every break that we can. What is that? But yeah. So hopefully that was clear. But you had anything else you
Sneak
want to throw
out
in
the
there?
house, sis. Sneak out.
Hey, so we said earlier we're gonna take that sister to council. So it's official now. She definitely going to council.
Sneak
Man.
out the house and call him when you're down the road and be like, hey, I'll be right back.
Hey,
I'm joking.
third Genesis 4:3 say, do not take it that advice.
I'm joking.
Nah, you're going to council sis next week at 3:30. You'll see schedule. Kai. Anybody else? No? No? All right, Kai. Was it an interesting conversation at least? Even if you didn't share, do you get the point of the men having requirements and the women having needs, and you can't expect the woman to fulfill the requirement if you have not fulfilled the need, right? And the woman, if he's fulfilling the need, then you must fulfill the requirement.
So I got it. I understood it.
Kai.
Yeah,
You're on
I
mute.
found that it was really nice that to hear how it all is connected. And I was just praising the Most High that I have the opportunity to hear healthy marriage relationship information like this in order to prepare myself for whoever the Most High brings into my life. And I hadn't really thought about it being connected as far as the requirements and the needs. When I first saw it, I don't know if it's just kind of like I like to be a balancer and I'm really big on justice. So I'm learning also this is a whole new kind of custom as far as the Hebraic customs, right? And so in my head, somebody might say it's a feminist, but I was like, oh, that seems kind of sexist to me. Why is it like this? Why is it not equal? Why is this the requirements? And Tasha broke it down really, really great. So that was the other part that I wanted to mention as far as the topic in itself. I liked how when she broke it down, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. So sometimes you just need to hear a perspective and it'll open your eyes to it, if that makes sense.
It does. Side note on the equality thing, me and Tasha, we have these conversations and we talk about everything. Hey, we talk about everybody and talk about everything. Just know that. We won't talk about y'all bad though. We might laugh. We won't talk bad. But we had a conversation on that several times, right? Equality. Who here, when they go to work, you expect equality with your supervisor? Who here, when you send your children to school, you expect your children to have an equal playing field or equality with their teachers? Who here, if you went to the restaurant to get something to eat, you would think the waiter or waitress will be have equality with the manager or the owner? Who here, if they went to a restaurant as a bad manager, will look to seek to the owner because there's no equality? So who here understands that there is nothing equal in none of our existence? But when we come into a marriage, all of a sudden, equality. Why is that the only place on the planet or in history or in our minds equality exists? Who here is equal to the Father? Who here believes the Son is equal to the Father? Who here believes they're equal to the Son? Who here Oh God, I gotta listen. I gotta put her away now. She raised her
No,
hand.
I
Said,
have
equal to
a
the
point when you're done. I thought you were
listen,
done with your analogy.
Twan. I thought Twan. Hey, I don't know, brother. She said she was equal to the. I said, oh, she done lost it. I'm just playing. I know she was. I know she wasn't raising her hand for that. So the point is, and again, it's a side note. We do this to ourselves when we think certain things that are unbiblical. And I'm talking about everybody. It's just general, across the board, inside NIOC, outside NIOC, just across the board. We do it. So I said, there is no equality. The problem is we're okay with the lack of equality in every aspect of our lives except our marriages. Probably why your marriage is suffering. Be the perfect work employee. Why? Because you know the lane that you're in and you operate within it perfectly. All right. Even if you do have something to say about your supervisor, you ain't finna talk trash like that to their face. I mean, you probably gonna talk to your coworker about it, but you know how to operate when you get to your supervisor, your boss, or whoever the case may be. You understand the lane. That's not saying you can't talk to your supervisor, your boss, or express your concerns, but there is a way of operating. If we took that same mentality that we operate throughout life and made sure we did the same thing in our marriage, I don't know why it changes in the marriage. It'd be better, right? Equality does not exist anywhere. Y'all read y'all Constitution of the United States? There's not one person here that's equal. All right. There's no equality. Now, but we got to understand that. One more side note. The do as I say, not as I do. Let me see the hands of people who think that's a poor teacher. Do as I say, not as I do. Let me see the hand who's saying that's a poor teacher. I see 2 hands that went up. Anybody else? Do as I say, not as I do. Support teaching. 3, 4. Okay. Anybody else? No. That's it? Hey, the rest of them just waiting because they think it's a trick question. That's all it is. They won't put their hand up. Figure y'all out at this point. It's not a trick question, but I do disagree. I think it's an excellent teaching. You do as I say, not as I do. Octavia.
Yes. Let me point out, I think it's circumstantial.
Explain.
I think it's circumstantial because in some areas you might have experience in that, or you might be trying to prevent something bad from happening. So do as I say and not as I do, because I've done it, you don't need to do it. Or I haven't done it, but I know somebody that has, and you don't need to do it. You see what I'm saying?
Would you wear a police uniform?
No, I wouldn't want to.
And actually, if you wanted to, do you think you answered it? No. Would you wear a police uniform?
No,
Why?
because I don't have the training to wear a police uniform.
Okay. Are you allowed to wear a police uniform?
Depending on the day. I mean,
No,
if we were
Lawson, get your
celebrating
bond money ready,
Halloween, I could
because
dress up
she
as
going
a
to
police
jail.
officer.
She
Again,
going
it's
to jail.
circumstantial.
Nah, you ain't allowed to wear a police uniform. Let me just help you out. So before you get yourself locked up,
I
put that
mean,
on.
they sell them on Amazon, so I mean, I could wear them.
Nah,
I
them ain't
just
no real
can't say
police
I'm a
uniform.
police
I'm talking about a
officer.
real police uniform. No, a
No.
real. Hey, listen. And I'll see if there's a big like $5,000 chunk of we had to bail her out. That's what happened. She don't want to put the uniform on. She got locked up.
I would never impersonate a police officer, so y'all ain't gonna have to come get me for that.
What about a doctor?
No.
Why? They do it.
Because for me, as a nurse, I wouldn't do it. One, there's a level of respect there, but 2, I'm not a doctor. And
There's a
then
level of
3,
law too, right?
yes, you have to practice within your scope.
But they do it.
I may know more than a doctor knows, but I can't supersede what a doctor says.
All I'm saying is they do it.
things go bad sometimes when that happens.
And I don't know about the surgeries or the medical. I ain't talking about, I'm talking about they say they're a doctor, they wear a doctor's jacket, they do it, and they tell you can't.
And there are different levels of doctors too, because there are nurses that have their doctorate, so they are referred to as doctors, but they're
not
not
the
medical
point.
doctors.
Not the point. Not the point. Y'all,
So-
y'all know she know where I'm going with this, right? Not the point. She know where I'm going with this. I've had a conversation with Octavia before. I'm starting to get familiar. So let me ask, I know where she's going. And Tasha, I'm coming back to your point, but I want you to answer this question real quick too. Would you wear a police officer's uniform?
No, because I'm not a police officer.
But they do it. So what am I asking this? Y'all said that do as I say, not as I do thing, it's bad. Who here allows their child to have hard liquor? Anybody?
We're talking about young children.
That's about young children, yeah. I ain't talking about wine or a little alcohol or a drink. I'm talking about hard liquor.
Some of us have children.
Only when the melatonin is finished.
Golly. Let me turn the recordings off. They go in jail.
Matthew 5:20.
Huh?
Said Matthew 5:20.
I
What-
ain't
what-
got nothing to do with that, so I just want to put it in the recording. I ain't got nothing to do with that one. That's all on him.
All right. Hey, Eileen, when I call my friends up from, back now, I just send them straight to Adrian alone. Don't worry about it. I got you.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Now again, I want to be clear. I'm not talking about, wine or for religious purposes or anything like that, or medical, because, may use of some medical. That's why I just drank some hard liquor. Can I get the hands of those again? Now that I clarify what I mean, who allows their children to drink hard liquor? Brandy, cognac.
Clarify age. Some
Huh?
of us have adult children.
No, I'm talking about little children, like
Oh,
your
no.
children that, maybe elementary school, maybe middle school, but children.
I don't know
Nobody?
if you heard me. I said Matthew 5:20. I don't know if you heard me.
I mean, you giving me a what that mean?
That's the perfect example of do what they say and not as they do.
You ain't telling me nothing though. Like, so when you say Matthew 5:20, like, watch this. Who here knows what Matthew 5:20 is off the top of your head? One to teach.
All right. So as the Pharisees taught, they did not do what they were teaching. That is and Christ said, hey, have just a little bit more faith, just a little bit more faith than the Pharisees, but don't do what they were doing. To me, that's a great example of do what they say, but don't do what they were doing.
It's actually said,
Do what they say. Do what they teach you to do.
Come.
Didn't that they do?
right. So they telling you to do something, right? And you're like, wait, you don't do it yourself. Do as I say, but not as I do. Your Lord and Savior said that. If he is indeed your Lord and Savior, he said that. This is another thing in every aspect of life. This makes sense. I wear a uniform. If you put a uniform on, I'm taking you to jail. You better do as I say and not put it on, not as I do. Why? For whatever reason, it's a law. You have to. Can't put that doctor's jacket on. It's a law. You just got to do what they say. And we humbly submit to that in every aspect of our life. But there are some people who would teach with their children, nah, that do as I say, not as I do. Hey, listen, I got some Revelette, some brand, some pecan brandy. Oh, it's that drink too. But guess what? Elijah's not gonna drink it. But you'll drink it. You're right. And guess what? What? You ain't me. This is a problem. This is a part of the problem, and a major problem in marriage. Because the wife want to be the husband, and sometimes the husband acting like the wife. And the children usurping both of them. No, what's your lane? What's your role? I can do, you know what else I do? What? Pay all the bills? Can you do that? No. Oh, that's the one you're going to magically say, oh, you could, but do as I say, not as I do at that point. But in every aspect of life, we submit to that. The only time it becomes a problem is in marriage or in your home. Why? Everywhere else you go, they tell you not to do something even though they're doing it. You don't blink an eye. You just keep going and live with it and be good to go. Now, I'm not saying don't explain anything to your kids or this or that, but if you have placed yourself in a position where you can't do nothing or won't do nothing because your children can't do it, you tripping. You tripping. We could look all through the scriptures and show you things that you can't do that, you know. Who here wear a priestly garment? Who will put an ephod on? The priest ephod. Let me see which one of y'all will do that and die. Anybody? Nah, ain't nobody finna put that ephod on. If you do, you're gonna pay for it. But the priest got it on. Are these not examples of do as I say, not as I do? And we submit to that humbly in every aspect of life, spiritually, religiously. I bet you won't go in the bank and just do anything, although you see other people doing it. We submit to that in every aspect of life. Stop telling yourself that do as I say and not as I do is a horrible teacher. It's not. It's not. There's lanes, there's roles, there's hierarchies that some people could do things you can't. And they could tell you, hey, you can't do this, but I'm going to do it. That's the way of operation all through scripture. And as Lawson pointed out, Christ even taught you that. Hey, you got the Pharisees? Yep, they're hypocrites. You know, but do as they say, not as they do. That's actually scriptural. Actually, verbatim scripture, actually. So those are side notes. But so like, Tasha, you had some. Hopefully I didn't go so long you forgot it. No, I was going for a while.
So I was going to answer back to what A. Timon said, and then it kind of piggybacks off of the point that you just finished. So I think that we as women equate the term of equality with the need for righteousness and a desire for a lack of hypocrisy in how our men lead. Equality, as you mentioned, does not exist. And the point hit home for me when Selwyn made the statement, and I did hear you echo it, the same sentiment, that if we cannot pay the house note and the house is foreclosed on, the view of you versus the view of me based on how society perceives it or sees it would not be the same. So we are not equal. I am in agreement with that, but there does need to be some balance in our roles and our contributions. We were designed to play different roles, but those roles, like this discussion of requirements versus needs, are interconnected, but both need to be present to make the ecosystem underlying any and all relationships work. That was my point.
Say that again.
Okay, from the beginning?
No. About the balance.
About the balance. Okay, so equality, as you mentioned, does not exist, and the point hit home, and I made the point about what someone said, hey, look, if the bills don't get paid and the house gets foreclosed on, we get kicked out. Society's not going to view us the same in that scenario. They're going to be looking at me like, why I didn't do what I had to do to make sure I provided. So it's saying that we're not equal, but there does need to be some balance in our roles and our contributions. It still needs to be equal in terms of the amount that we're contributing in our respective roles, because we are designed to play two different roles, just the same way with having a baby. I cannot father a baby. I can carry a baby, I can incubate a baby, but my role in that scenario of having a child, I can't impregnate myself. I can hold and carry the baby, I can deliver the baby, but I can't impregnate myself. It takes two of us, the two different roles, to make that happen. So I was saying we're designed to play two different roles, but those roles, like this discussion of requirements versus needs, they're interconnected. They go together. It's just the way we were created, where they're meant to balance each other out. But we have to have both of those roles present to make the ecosystem underlining, whether it be your marriage, whether it be, you know, your relationships at work with your manager and etc. They have to be balanced in order for it to work overall, for the whole system to work together.
Right. So the reason I said say it again, because that was the part I caught. And so here's what a lot of sisters would do, right? And I'm generally speaking. How often y'all hear sisters talk about that Proverbs 31 woman? I'm a Proverbs 31 woman. And 99.9% of the time don't know what a Proverbs 31 woman is. You just heard somebody say it. You just read the first line, Proverbs 31. The woman is a good woman. That's me. But if you read what this woman, who she is, what she doing, the roles, the balance, what she takes upon herself, you might second guess if you want to be a Proverbs 31 woman, honestly. Rebecca at the well, when she met Abraham's servant, you know what she was doing? Who knows what Rebecca was doing out there when she met Abraham's servant?
Getting water.
Getting water. Any one of y'all ever tried to carry like 2 water jugs, a gallon in each hand? Just, you know, that'd be 4 total, but
Yeah, it's hard. It's heavy.
It's hard.
heavy.
It's hard and difficult
They
to
were,
manage.
they were carrying buckets. Not only did they carry the buckets, they were drawing the buckets. They hustling. Oh, you thirsty? Oh, and your camel and your horse or whatever you ride thirsty? Okay, I got you. I'm gonna draw some more water. All right, now I'm finna walk X amount of miles back to my house
2-3 times a day.
several times.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that being said, these are Proverbs 31 women. What the Proverbs 31 woman is defined as is a woman, if you read it carefully, she's strategic. She thinks. She plans out things for tomorrow, even though the day just got started. But why she planning out things for tomorrow if the day got started? Well, today is already planned out from yesterday, so she good. In other words, she's looking ahead for tomorrow. There's things that she needs to get done, and she strategically makes sure it happens. Where's her husband? Her husband is in the gates with the elders, teaching God's word without worry, because the house is together. It's a lot that Proverbs woman does. But we've transitioned to Proverbs 31 woman to like, oh, she's a submissive and she's cute and she's there and she hey man, it ain't said none of that, right? This woman was a worker. This woman actually put in efforts. Now, I do understand this though. We are in a captivity. Things are different here, right? There's a different type of burden that's on you here. But when we're talking about the balancing of roles, the roles, I'm pointing out, when we say balancing and equal balancing, it's not scriptural. It's not. Y'all know how the scriptures got the good, the bad, and the ugly? This part I like to hear, the part I don't want to hear. Maybe a part we don't want to hear. But it's not balanced. I don't like you saying that. Well, it's a God complaint. Take it up to the Father. I'm just telling you what he wrote, right? It's not balanced. That woman was she's probably one of the most famous women in the Bible. No, she is the most famous woman in the Bible that don't even have a name. Who knows her name? Everybody know her though. Everybody know you without knowing your name. It's like the actor. Y'all seen the actor, the brother who played in Life, Can't get right. That man, I've been in a million movies. What's his name?
Burner Matt.
See that? Don't nobody know the brother name.
Joaquin Woodbine.
Only reason we know it because we looked it up the other day. If you ask most people that, they wouldn't know his name. Watch it. Tavy. How long you known his name for?
Just a couple of years. I ain't know it till like a couple years ago.
You got to look it up, huh? Now, I mean, if I say, what about Denzel? You'd be like, oh, I was a kid. Everybody knew. But the point is, she's the most influential, right? Popular, famous woman without a name. And most of us don't even know really what she did. But it's about looking at the scripture for what it is, taking it for what it is, and really applying it, making it applicable, and going by it. Even the parts that I don't like that part. But if you utilize that part, you're gonna come to like that part. Might become one of your, oh, that's easy. I mean, this used to be a problem. That's called growth, right? So I agree with the point Tasha brought out. I just want to make that clear, though. I want to make that clear. There's roles. It's an ecosystem. As long as you know what we're supposed to be doing, how it's supposed to go, I know what I do, and I know what you do. You know what you do, you know what I do. And we know where our children stand. The marriage should flow. And I mean, you're gonna never have a head, but you know, I'm sure wives get on y'all nerves all the time, man, and vice versa. But I do like to say, if you got a wife that's always on your nerves, you might want to check your relationship with the father. Because I'm a firm believer that the wife is to us as we are to the father, because that is the hierarchy. All right. But Con, it's 4:38. We're actually way over on time. Anybody got any closing or anything they want to add before we wrap?
It's good combo.
Good conversation. People that's not married, y'all need to start saying something.
Yeah. Definitely. Man, if
I
you're
just don't know how to apply. I mean, like, I don't know how to comment to it because I guess, yeah, I just don't know how to comment to it. I understand, but I don't know how to comment to it.
Con. Definitely. No, yeah. I mean, as long as you're part of the conversation. If there's what I guess the overall message is, just because if you're not married, don't think you can't say nothing. If you do have something to say, like definitely jump in there. You know what I mean? So, but all right, man. It's a good conversation, man. We had this every third month. Our next one is. I gotta look at the calendar, man. And when the next one?
February, right?
February, November, December, January, February. Yeah, February. Okay. Man, it was a good conversation, good talk. I would say just husbands, keep in mind, as Twan hit it right on the head. Keep in mind the Exodus, man. Keep in mind the requirements that you set. You must supply the need. The need must be met in order for the requirements to be fulfilled. If not, we're no different than Pharaoh, who took the straw from the children of Israel and placed the requirement on them to still get as many bricks as they needed. If I gotta go back and read, I actually think he doubled it or up to how many they need to produce, while taking away the material that they needed to produce it. And so that we don't be like Pharaoh, the requirements that you set in your household, make sure you're meeting the needs of your wives so that they can fulfill those requirements. And if we're not meeting the needs of our wives, we can't blame them for not meeting or fulfilling the requirements. And wives, if the needs are being met, then you have no excuse of why the requirements are not being fulfilled. Con?
next meeting,
Hold on. Con, that's more than 2 people on here.
I said.
Con,
Con.
I want to make sure because can't nobody be like, we got this on recording. Oh, next month. Well, no, you said con and we was agreed and you understood. All right, Eileen, you got it.
No, I just wanted to say February 21st is the next meeting for marriage maintenance at 2 p.m.
All praises, all praises. Well, let's do a quick pray out and then let's enjoy the rest of the Shabbat. Y'all have fun.
All right, everybody. Women's heads covered, men's heads uncovered. Everybody can hear me?
Yep, I can.
Yep.
Con.
Oh, holy and righteous Father, mighty God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we thank you and acknowledge you, Holy Father, for giving us a mindset to put you at the forefront of everything that we do. Holy Father, as we establishing to make holy and righteous marriages, Most High, we ask that you be at the center and that your Son be with us in everything that we do, that we be pleasing to you in how we operate. Holy Father, let your Holy Spirit rest, rule, and abide in us. Let us love each other. Father, let us, the men, love the wives as Christ loved the church. Holy Father, let us be obedient to you, that we, in our walk with you, to be pleasing to you, Father. All these things we pray through the power and might of your Son, Yahweh Shai. Lift you up, magnify your holy name. We give you all praise. Hallelujah.
Yeah. Shalom, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Shalom.
Shalom.